feel like everybody would probably remember their first, right? So tell me about, like, do you remember your first ever strongman competition, how it went, and how did it feel like in that first atmosphere?
Yeah, so my very first competition, it was a local one, so it was called Highlands Strongest Man. And it was based here in the Highlands of Scotland in a car park in front of maybe about 30 people, 30 or 40 people tops. But it felt like any time I stepped foot on stage now, I was like super pumped up, super excited. And I think I'm quite like a nice guy and everything else, but as soon as I start competing, I just change, I get that kind of, that switch, yeah. So it just felt, I don't know, it felt for me very comfortable as well, being in that environment, that competition environment. I took to it quite well, and it went really well for me, fortunately. I think I won every event, and
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Okay. Good
It was
start.
good.
Good start.
Yeah, no pressure on you to win every event, but I mean, I had like 10 years of kind of solid gym training, so my big compound lifts, they were all quite good. I was quite athletic, when I first started. I was very athletic. Moving events were really good for me. So I just went in, just had fun, just played up to the crowd, screaming, shouting, the usual for me, ripping my t-shirt off. And,
Yeah.
yeah, so I mean that was my first event, and yeah, man, that was for me. That was the big, like the kind of adrenaline rush that I got from that was unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life, and like still to this day, I still got that same adrenaline. It's amazing.
That's crazy. How much did you weigh back then?
My first competition was I was maybe 125 kilos, I would say.
Oh, okay. It's like considerably smaller.
Yeah, that's like 40 kilos ago.
That's crazy, man. Wow.
No.
In your opinion, what is the number one best part of the sport?
Oh, that's a good one. I think with strongman, there's the potential to become something. We all start off with like the sport itself. There's an obvious path. For me, there's a very obvious path. Like when I started, I didn't really realize that was just like a pipe dream way back then. And for me, the best part of being a strongman and being an athlete, whatever, is that I get to do it full time. This is, for me, it's the best job I've ever had. I've started quite late in my age, I guess, in that kind of aspect, but the guys that I get to compete with, they're, I class them as family and really good friends, and that as well. Doing a job that you get to do it with your family, some of your best friends, you get to travel the world, you get to better yourself every day. I know it sounds very cheesy and cliche.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. But for me, I think that is, especially in the world that we live in, right? It's pretty messy sometimes, and
yeah.
if you can do something that every day that you can improve on, and you're improving not just in yourself physically but mentally, it's teaching you discipline, it's teaching you routine, it's teaching you about life skills. You have to, when you go and compete, you have to be able to speak to the camera or speak to other people and have that conversations, because if you don't have that ability to maybe get on with people or can have conversations and hold yourself kind of accountable, then you're never going to be successful. And I think, to me, that is the epitome of strongman. You've got to hold yourself accountable every day, and I think that is very important in life. Plus, it's cool as fuck. I mean, you get to compete in front of 10,000 plus people, and for me, competing at World's Strongest Man, it's incredible. But like I say, that very first competition where I competed in front of 30 people, I still get the same buzz back then as I do now, competing against, Brian Shaw, who's the last ever stone off a World's Strongest Man. I still get the same buzz, that same, like, I can't believe that I'm actually doing something like this. And that kind of, every time I compete, I get those kind of pinch me moments. It's like you look around and people are cheering or booing, whatever it is. Like, seeing people wanting to watch you do something that you love and are very passionate about is, So it's a few things why I think strongman. I can't just put my finger on one thing, but it's given not only me, it's given my family stability in life. I think we've been very fortunate to create a business, and it's a full-time profession for us. So I'm exceptionally grateful to that very first time I went into the gym. It's changed and probably saved my life.
Yeah, I feel like my favorite part of the sport is that it's oddly authentic. And what I mean by that is, I mean, like I've DJ'd extremely like very, very large festivals, and I've met like A-list celebrities in like the music world and such. And every time you meet someone, it's usually a very different interaction than what you would expect. But in Strongman, whether like it was meeting you or it was meeting Brian for the first time, or any of the big the big social media people, like Martins or Romark, they are exactly like they are in their videos. There is no shifting. There is no double personality. Like, you guys are exactly what is portrayed. And like I told you, one of the first times that I met you, you were the person that I wanted to meet the most out of all of the big famous strongmen. And you very much lived up to that, like to everything I wanted you to be, which is amazing.
Oh, fuck, man. I appreciate that. That's far too kind. I'm sure there's many people that would disagree with you, but I think that's a really nice compliment. I think, just like authentic, I think strength has to be authentic as well, right? You can't like fake it, no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, anyone says, no matter what, we care about the referee's decisions. Like, you either get the lift or you don't get the lift, and to me, that's the most beautiful thing, that we can do. We don't get judged on our physical appearance. We don't get judged on our intellect or whatever it is. We get judged purely on something that you either can or can't do, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty authentic.
So do you have any advice for, okay, so this is my first competition. I have no clue what I'm getting into. I've been in the gym for like a little bit of time. Like, I'm a big guy in general, but I've in terms of actually competing for a full day or anything, I know nothing. I have no idea what to expect. Do you have any advice for me or for anybody in general that's even thinking about doing a strongman competition for the first time?
Yeah, I mean, aside have fun, do your best, enjoy it, all that stuff. Because that is very important. You've got to do that. If you're at the show and you're like a nervous wreck and you're full of anxiety and you're like stressed and you can't perform, that is something you obviously need to look at yourself. But as far as competing and stuff, I remember Thor said to me when we were competing in Dubai in Loose a few years ago, he said, if you can, just try and eat when you're eat kind of throughout the day of the competition. I know it sounds very basic. It sounds very like, oh yeah, of course you've got to eat. But when you're kind of full of like adrenaline and like caffeine pre-workout, you're all pumped up. You do forget sometimes to kind of, when you've got that longer break between events, just to get a snack in or some food, just to kind of keep that energy. Because again, you know how adrenaline works. You've got that big spike, and then it will subside, it will come off, and that's if you don't have the energy to kind of counteract that kind of drop, then I can feel myself like lacking that strength to kind of finish some shows, and that's what was happening before. But now, very fortunate that we work with, nutritionists, all this other stuff. But just try and eat when you can, and again, it's lifting stuff. It's not. There's no huge science to it. It is genuinely just go out there and. Yeah, and another thing, Mitchell Hooper, World's Strongest Man, he very intelligent guy, and he studies a lot in the. And Mitch, if you're watching this, apologies because I'll probably say everything wrong, all the terminology. But he was talking about the neurological side, and we try and get pumped up, we try and get like aggression and all this stuff, and he was saying that the science behind it actually doesn't make a huge difference to overall performance if you're like really aggressive and yeah, I'm going to get pumped up and pumped up. Like when you break it down, the body doesn't actually give you that much extra performance. So
that's very interesting, actually.
Yeah, I'm sure that. I mean, apologies, Mitchell, if I completely talked rubbish there, but I'm sure it was something like that you said, and I think we can see it from looking back. I can analyse things and people's performances and stuff. Just look at Evan during the group stage. Evan the Singleton in the group stage of World's Strongest Man this year. He was a lot more subdued, a lot more kind of in control of his emotions, whereas in previous years you see this Evan that's like so pumped up the whole time, and you can see it in different people, and when they change, it's maybe just to try and control that aggression and that kind of for the right moment, just before you go up, then you switch it on, because sometimes if you're in that zone too much, you can waste a lot of energy. Try not to make too many mistakes. And, again, if you do make a mistake, thankfully you've got another event to kind of rectify it. And, it's, and just don't be too hard on yourself, because, again, you just want to do as good as you can do. And that's all you can ask from yourself, I think. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's the beauty of competition strongman, is that we all go out with the intention to do as good as we can, but sometimes that intention doesn't follow through, and we're left on our arses.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
I actually really like that you touched on the whole aggression side of things, because if you look at Brian's new video that he just posted about my thoughts on World's Strongest Man, and then he talks about in the Stone Off against Serrano, where he had to tap into that dark place, and then that drained him, right? So, and I mean, that was a long Stone Off too, so that's a long time to be in a dark place.
It's so tough. It is really tough sometimes to kind of be there and kind of you get asked a lot of what do you think about when you're in that moment, and a lot of the time I can't remember what I'm thinking about, but I know it's it's not somewhere that I enjoy being, on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
It's obviously some type of traumatic kind of thing you're thinking about, and sometimes you just leave it out there and you don't actually remember it, so it's there. But again, we work with psychologists and stuff, and so just really tap into that one day, and let's talk about what you're thinking about, Luke, and let's figure out why you're such an idiot. And so I don't know. That's maybe for therapy in the next couple of years or so. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's amazing. So if there's anything else that you would like to say to fans that are just thinking about competing or anything like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, Strongman has changed my life. It's allowed me to do something that I'm fully passionate about. It's changed my life. It's probably saved my life. It's allowed me to meet amazing people and to do something that I wake up every day thinking about, and I fall asleep every night thinking about as well. So if you are thinking about doing any strongman related sports or any sports in general, is just please go for it. I think strongman, strong woman is absolutely amazing. There's so many different weight categories. There's a progression. There's a ladder that you can climb, and if Tom and myself can do it, we're based in the middle of nowhere in Scotland, in the Highlands, in a tiny little town, then I truly believe anyone else in the world can do it. We have Iron Bibby smashing it out in Burkina Faso, and it's amazing, all the Eastern European guys. It's so cool to see them. So if you are thinking about it, it is very daunting at times. Of course it is when you go up against these big guys. I've been there. I've kind of had that anxiety and nerves, but just go in there, do yourself as proud as you can, and look forward to seeing some of you on the world stage very soon.
Thank you so much for everything. No, this was amazing.
Of course, my
Yeah.
pleasure, man. How are you feeling for the comp?
Oh my god, I'm a little stressed, but I'm excited, and I feel like that's where I should be, right? Like
Yeah.
like luckily, so the thing is, I'm a big guy, right? I weigh 350 pounds. So
Right.
the problem with that is that I would be competing in men's open,
Yeah.
and like my deadlift is not 560 already,
Right.
right? So I'm doing a novice class, which is like lower weights essentially, like novice heavyweight. So that should be fun, but I'm like, I still feel like I want personally to just leave absolutely everything out there. Even if I'm winning all the events, I'm gonna make sure to win by like 10 fucking reps if I have to. You know what I mean? Just to feel what you guys feel at the end of one of those crazy shows, right? Completely depleted.
Yeah. That's when you can kind of hold your head high and you know you've done everything. It's like, yeah, right. That's it. I'm done. I'm needing like a couple of days just to lock myself in a dark room and not see anyone. Just to recoup and kind of, because when you leave it out there, you leave a part of yourself, don't you? You leave that kind of part of your soul, your body, your kind of everything, and I think that's why and you can see it. You can see it when you see someone like the battle for worlds this year with Mitch and Tom, like Mitch in that last event in the Stones, you could see he was giving everything to get that final stone up. So, and that's when it's awesome. That's when it's like, fuck, this is good. So, yeah man, just balls to the wall. Just go ham.
No, it really feels like Mitch in the shield carry. What was impressive, he gave it everything. The man was crab walking at the end.
That's what we're working on that now. We're doing the Mitch crab walk and training. How do we optimize? And hey, I mean, that's a testament to Mitch. He gives everything, and he was, man, it was an epic performance. But I can't wait for next year, man. 2024 is going to be. It's going to be tight. It's going to be. We got your boy Maxime coming back as well, so that'll be awesome. I'm super excited to see Maxime. But yeah, it's going to be good. And I wish you all the best in the competition, man. I'm excited to see the results. It'll be interesting.
Absolutely. So you started when you were, 27, I think?
Yeah, I think my first one was like 27. I think my first Giants live show was when I was 27.
Okay. So I still have hope, is what you're saying. Give me 5 years, and I'll see you at Worlds.
Easy. Well, I mean, I'll try and hold out for another 5 years. I am 38 now, 39 this year. So 40.
Oh God.
I don't know.
Okay. I'll do in 3 years. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think Cushy will let me kind of carry on for too much longer. So, she's. But yeah, it's. I love it, man. It's. Yeah. I can wholeheartedly say it's changed my life for the better, and
amazing.
I just wish everyone, anyone that yourself, anyone else is doing it, man. It's so cool to fucking see people coming up because I mean, I love seeing. We got the gym here, and when you see guys coming in and smashing PBs, and that's cool because you know what it feels like when you get a PB, when you get that new lift. It's like, fuck yeah, man. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's £100 or £1,000. It's all the feelings are always the same. It's always that same euphoria and that kind of you're walking around with a little swagger on after.
Pump up the arms, like spread the lats a little bit.
Definitely, man. No, it's cool. When's your comp? How long away?
21 days.
Oh, was it 21 days? Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah. I had like a full 30 days exactly. It's on May 27th.
Oh, May 27th. Just get my calendar up. I think we're back. Well, that'll be cool. I'll look out for that, man. And then I can congratulate you out at the Shaw Classic.
Fuck that. All right. Thank you so much, eh?
Of course, bro. Yeah, we'll catch up soon. Take it easy.
Have a good day, buddy.
Bye.